children, a big loving welcome to our channel, Ammu&You. Ammu is back again with another story. And I was just thinking, that I think you have become used to, or rather addicted to Ammu stories, haven't you? For me, I can say that I have really developed this strong passion to keep narrating stories to you. I really love doing that. And the best part, what I love is find the right stories for you. And when you write to me how much you like the stories, all my efforts bear fruits. That is what really makes me very happy. So keep interacting with Ammu, and Ammu will go on narrating all possible lovely stories to you. Now today, I have got an amazing story of grit and determination, courage, and never say die attitude. The name of the story is Chipko Takes Root. Now, children, what is this Chipko? Chipko was a movement that was started in the Himalayan region when there was a lot of deforestation. The trees were being cut, and because of the irrational cutting of trees by man, the area was experiencing the wrath of nature. There were flash floods, severe floods, causing damage to life and property. And then people realized the importance of trees and the importance of afforestation, planting new trees. And to protest against this cutting for money, the locals started to go and hug the tree. Chipko, chipak jao, go and hug, cling to the tree that has been marked to cut. That is where the name Chipko movement came from. So in the Himalayan region, there was this huge Alaknanda river. There is still this Alaknanda river that, because of deforestation, had started causing severe floods. And then year 1970, there was a very severe flash flood. And that area then is where our story is about. It's about a small village there where lived a little Bhotia girl. Bhotia is a tribe that lives there, and a little Bhotia girl named Dichi. Dichi was a little girl full of life. She lived with her three brothers, her mother, and her grandfather. It was a joint family. She had uncle and aunt as well living together. So Dichi loved her village like all the children there loved. She would climb the huge trees and pine trees, deodar trees, and ash trees. The whole area was filled with such big, huge trees. She would climb on them, and especially now deodar and pine trees are not easy to climb. They are very tall trees. But ash trees, they are very strong, but they have thin stems and thin branches, which the children find it easy to climb. So Dichi would climb that tree. And there was one ash tree that she was particularly very fond of. She called it her ash tree. She would spend hours playing there. She would sit there with a dholak. What's a dholak? It's an instrument where you beat it from both the sides. And she would sing songs playing the dholak on that ash tree. And her little brothers would jump around from one branch to the other. One day, she was doing just that. The brothers were playing, and their sheep were all over the fields, grazing and bleating. Dichi was really enjoying her day when she heard her grandfather call out to her, Dichi, Dichi, come home. The two of us have to go across the river to see Grandma. She has not been keeping too well, so come back home. And the boys, can you get the sheep back home, please? The boys heard. The boys said, Grandpa, they called him Dada. Dada, we also want to go to see Dadi. Dada said, no, 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 not today, not today. You have to stay home, take care of the sheep, because I'm taking Dichi with me, and Dichi will stay with her grandmother for a few days, who needs proper nursing and looking after. She's become very weak. So please see that all the sheep go back home. And Dichi, come quick, we must leave for Grandma's house. Now Dichi came, and they all reached home, and Dichi with her grandfather left for the river. Now the river was Alaknanda River, was a very big river, and with all the rocks and the stones, the water would keep jumping, splashing from boulders and from the rocks. But these children were all used to the river, used to that chilling water, mountain river, and it was very, very chilling. So Dichi and her Dada reached the river, and Dada put the mule into the river, which was at the place where it was knee deep, and he had all their belongings on top of the mule, and they were crossing the river. Dichi was having great fun splashing the ice cold water when she heard her uncle, her chacha, crying out to her, Dichi, take care. These boulders may be tricky. You may slip, and the current is very strong. Please take care. And Dichi said, yes, Chacha, I will do that, as she waved to him. He was there with his fishing net, doing some fishing. As Dichi was having so much fun, suddenly out of nowhere, there came a huge gush of water. The river seemed to swell beyond proportions. Dichi screamed. The boulders and the rocks started rolling down with a huge fast current. And children, Dichi's leg, one of the legs, was caught under a boulder. She could not take it out, and she screamed for help. The gushing river was making so much of noise. And Chacha saw her. He screamed, came quickly to her, and with all his might tried to push the boulder somehow to release Dichi's leg from underneath. With great difficulty, he managed to do that, but Dichi's leg was smashed and injured. He dragged her out, pulled her up, took her on his shoulders, and carried her in his arms back home. Now Dichi was screaming in pain. Her mother heard her, and Chacha put wailing Dichi into her mother's arms. Her mother said, oh my dear, what has happened to you? And Dichi screamed in pain when she felt needles all needles all over her left leg, the leg that was crushed by the boulder. She fainted. Chacha said, "Take care of her as I go to help Dada." And he ran back to the river. The river was absolutely in full fury. He could not see Dada anywhere. On the other side, he just saw the tottering mule who seemed to have managed to get across the water and had climbed on to that other side of the river. But no signs of Dada. Chacha kept looking here and there, crying out to him, calling out to him. But the huge noise made by the water could not help his voice go much far. He could not find Dada. A couple of hours later, Dada was found far away near the banks of the river. The body was lifeless. His body was pulled out from the cold, chilling water, and it was lifeless. Dada was no more. The body was brought home, and the whole family was shattered. Dichi lost all her strength in that left leg. It was paralyzed. The doctor examined her and said that nothing could be done with that leg anymore. Now she needed crutches to walk. Now Dichi was so sad. She was terribly, terribly heartbroken to have lost her grandfather. But her Chacha kept on encouraging her, saying, "We cannot give hope. We cannot give hope. Look at the family that is left behind. You have your mother, you have your brothers. We are there for you, Dichi. You cannot lose hope like this." And Dichi held on to all her courage and might and carried on with her normal life. One day, she heard there was a meeting in the village, and the elderly Gauriamma was presiding the meeting. She was telling all the villagers that shortly there would be people coming to cut the trees in the forest. They would be the people of Chand contractor. Now they were coming to cut off those big, big trees to sell them in the town. And she asked them, "Do you know how important these trees are to us?" All the villagers said, "Yes." "What do the trees give us? Can you tell me?" "Yes, they give us soil, water, and clean air." "How can we let others cut our trees?" "We cannot," shouted the villagers. "We cannot let anybody cut our trees." So she said, "This is time for action. We have to go to the forest and protest. But remember, it has to be a peaceful protest." And so all the villagers started going towards the village. Little Dichi, she picked up her drum, her dholak, and she started playing it and saying, "Dhoom dhadam dhadam, dhoom dhadam dhadam, dhoom dhadam dhadam." What do the forests give us? Soil, water, clean air. Dhoom dhadam dhadam, dhoom dhadam dhadam. As all the villagers shouted the slogans with the beat of the drums, they marched towards the forest. They saw that the people with their axes had reached there, they started shouting, "Go away, we don't want you. You don't touch our trees. You cannot cut our trees." Now, seeing such a big village force, Chand contractor could do nothing but take back his men from where they had come. Next morning, there was again an announcement. There is a film from the government related to agriculture. It's free and all the villagers are welcome. Now, the government had such programs often. So the men folk all went to the village, the other village that was showing the film. That evening, after returning from school, Dichi was there on her ash tree, lying on one of its branches, when she heard sudden screeching and fluttering of the parrots. The squirrels were running up and down. Suddenly there was quick movements, hurried movements, and she got up and she saw that a bus was coming to the village. She started to see clearly, tried to see clearly, and she saw that men with brown uniform were all trooping out. They had axes. Immediately she understood that they had come to cut the trees. They were the men of Chand contractor. Now she had to run to warn the villagers. She couldn't run, she was on crutches. Children, she let herself roll down the slope to reach fast, throwing away her crutches. And she started screaming, "Help, help, save our trees. The men have come to cut them." Hearing her, everyone ran, gathered, and then Dichi told them what she had seen. They again went, trooped towards the forest. Dichi with her drum and the slogans rent the whole air. Dum dhadak, dum dhadam, dum dhadam, dum. What do the forests give us? Soil, water, and air. Go away, leave our trees. Now they went and they saw that the trees had been marked with a cross, white cross. They were to be auctioned. Everyone chose a tree and went and hugged it and said, "You cannot cut this tree. You have to cut us to cut this tree." Suddenly, Dichi saw her uncle, one of them. She said, "Uncle, you? How come?" Now the uncle broke down, sitting on the ground, said, "I'm so sorry, Dichi, I had no option. Unfortunately, I had fallen prey to gambling and I've lost all my money. I'm in so much of debt. I had to listen to this chant." "Don't worry, Chacha. We will repay your debt," said Dichi and her three brothers. One of them said, "I will work in the soap factory." The other said, "I will work in the paper factory." The other, Dichi said, "I will work with the weaver." "Chacha, you don't worry. We will work hard and repay all your debt." Hearing that, Chacha realized his mistake. He opened his brown shirt and threw it away and picked up the drum from Dichi and started playing it. Dum dhadak, dum dhadak. Go away, leave our trees. Now, seeing everyone clinging to the trees, one of those men said, "Move away. We have to cut the tree." "No, we can't." Dichi screamed, "Don't you see? These trees are our lives. I have lost my dada in the floods because of the cutting of trees. Don't you see? You will be killing us." That man realized. He dropped his axe and said, "I am not going to cut a single tree." Following him, All the other men did the same. And Chand contractor said, you can't be doing this. Pick up your axes and cut the trees. I'll be paying you. We don't want your money. We will not cut trees. They are our lives. Saying this, they all trooped out, and Dichi and her villagers rejoiced, playing the drum, dancing and singing for the trees. And that is how they brought this Chipko movement into being, which was followed later different parts of the country as well. Lovely story, children. Yes, see how important the trees are to us. Plant new trees. Take care of them. It is for our own good. If you like the story, you have to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Keep sharing the videos, keep watching the videos. They are for you, for your good, for your entertainment. And wait for Ammu again, like you always do. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Ammu loves you.